Welcome, sports fans. Welcome back to another very special episode. I'm Joe Mar, and this is This Sports TV, the place you guys come to get the best, most interesting, and riveting sports topics, discussions, debates, and analysis on the internet. And before we get into the video, people, please remember for just the they call it the housekeeping, the YouTube fundamentals. The things that we ask for every single day and that we don't seem to be getting. So we want to start get panita. Get me I say like the video, share the video, subscribe. No wait, actually like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And the one more thing though, share the video to at least 10 people and ensure to get to 6 subscribers, because if each and every one of you guys can manage to do that, you know how many subscribers that would get us by the end of the day, people. So Manning Cup second round has kicked off, people. And this sports TV, we've gotten into our schoolboy football coverage. As you know, it's debatable, of course, but some would say arguably sports TV provides the best coverage, on the platform, and we believe in ourselves and our back our abilities, and we're back at do it, and I do it as best as we possibly can right now. Game day 2 of schoolboy football, Manning Cup second round, um, transpired. I think it was on Tuesday, and there was a hot slate of fixtures that were played. Not many surprising results, but there are some very good games being played. And Sports TV, we're at 2 games, and you would have seen Rush speak about the game between Mona High School, defending champions, and Campion College. A formidable team. Became prominent in the last couple of seasons and are now becoming a household name in schoolboy football. They battled against Mona. Rush covered it, people. If you haven't seen that video, go and check out that video right now, people. It was, I would say, groundbreaking analysis of that game where Mona ultimately prevailed, but Campion put up staunch opposition and have nothing to be ashamed about. However, the other game that Sports TV was at was, in my opinion, what I think was the biggest game on the day. It might not be. There were other good games, on the day. Wolmer's took on KC. Um, Wolmer's took on KC. Let's play. People, forgive me. My brain now works so good. Wolmer's took on KC, JC took on Charlie Smith. So there were other games around the grounds being played, but Sports TV. We were at Calabar versus Catherine. Well, when I say we, it was me, because obviously, because we want, do as much coverage as possible, we split up. So Rush was at the Mona game, I was at the Calabar and Catherine game. And I know that you guys don't want to hear the rambling, you want to get into the meat of the matter. So Catherine versus Calabar, what I think was one of the outstanding games of match day number 2 in this second round of the Issa Manning Cup. And it was a good game. It got off to a riveting start. Catherine came out, guns blazing. We spoke to Anthony Patrick after the game, and he emphasized how important it is for his team to start on the front foot and to attempt to step on the opposition's neck from early. And that's exactly what they did. They came out, in what seemed to have been, a dynamic formation. It seemed as though they'd start with a 4, but sometimes transition into a 3. They'd have 2 holding midfielders, sometimes 1 holding midfielder, and they'd have one number 10, a cam, 2 wingers on either side, and their star man up front, the man getting all the goals. And what I saw from this Catherine team was a real system team. They defended stoutly, but they got the ball out quickly and confidently and comfortably, and they got it into their middleman, Kadeen Young, who looked to quickly distribute the ball wide to his wingers or carry it if the space is provisioned, or sometimes he even makes his own space and try to get balls over the top to their clinical starman gentles up top. So I saw that play out in the game, as soon as the whistle, as soon as the referee blow the whistle to kick the game off. They started and they pushed the ball up front, and they were getting down the wings, exploiting the weaknesses, exploiting the width, and attacking Calabar fervently in the first couple of minutes. They started with, as I said, like an attacking four essentially, with Caden Young as the attacking midfielder, Tevin Gray on one wing, and one Ronaldo Stewart on the other wing. And boy, when I tell you, those two wingers really kept Calabar honest. In fact, um, if I'm not mistaken, Tevin Gray would have went on and scored what was the third goal. Um, but anyway, so Catherine were getting chance after chance after chance after chance. They kept knocking at the door. They kept keeping Calabar honest, but they just couldn't convert. The game was being run, and as I said, Kaden Young would have continuously making plays wide, and they're getting squares, and it was unlike Gentles, who just wasn't able to be as clinical as he normally is, missing a couple of goal scoring opportunities, until eventually Catherine broke the deadlock, but it was inevitable. They were destined to score based on how they kept the pressure on Calabar, kept attacking, kept providing good opportunities. And separate and aside from how Catherine were playing, we saw Anthony Patrick's work all over this team. We saw the team doing exactly what he wanted them to do. They maintained their position, they defended stoutly. But separate and aside from it all, I have to speak about KD Young, even before finishing the recap of the game. I have to speak about St. Catherine High School's number 10. Can I tell you that he may well be one of, if not the most talented top link in the competition. Yes, there are other people, the likes of a Denzel Washington McKenzie, who is out there playing at that position. But this KD young individual, he was something special. He was so sure every single time he got the ball. He held his head up, he looked for plays, and his passing is sublime. But what's even better than his ability to make plays, his ability to pass and to get the balls over the top to his wide players and to gentles up top, is just his ability to just seamlessly carry the ball through the field and have defenders look as though they're not even trying to get the ball off his foot. He just cut through them like butter. And the second goal that Catherine scored was as a result of a free kick that he won, where he picked up the ball, I'd say, at about the half line, and he just cut through their field, until they had to take him down, and it was right outside the box. And had they not taken him down, I think he would have just ran it all the way across the goal line. That's how easy he was. That's how light work. That's how much of light work he was making of the Calabar's defense. KD Young. I can't say enough about this player. I think this is the first time I've seen him this season, and I'm just utterly impressed. You can know that he's a cut above it. So he was taken down. He was taken down. Oh, by the way, yes, people, the first goal was scored from a corner kick. The ball came over. Free header. Catherine defender, I think, scored the goal. Calabar had to have done better. And the Calabar are a pretty big team too, so you'd expect that they'd be getting their head on balls, but unfortunately they conceded, or fortunately, depending on which perspective you look at it, conceded early in the game from a corner kick, and then the second goal, as I just mentioned, Kaden Young dribbled through the field, got fouled, and Gentles, the referee blew the whistle. I don't think the Calabar goalkeeper was finished setting up his wall. I didn't even get time to finish setting up my camera to have the goal recorded. He just stepped up and put it away comfortably and confidently. And that led to Catherine going up 2 goals. After Catherine went up 2 goals, it seemed as though they kind of got complacent. They took their foot off the gas. They weren't creating as many opportunities as they were in the beginning of the game, and this allowed Calabar to get a chance to get a foothold in the game. They're number 7, I think. Rankin is his name. aka Saka. He's also a top talent. He had his hands all over this game. He was just trying to make things happen. It seemed as though he was the one willing his team to the finish line, trying to push, trying to make plays. Getting into the attacking area, getting into Catherine's box. Creating plays, but his shot just wasn't coming off. It just wasn't working out. But he was still a fundamental part of Calabar creating their ultimately it would result in a cancellation, because they eventually lost 3-1. But they had good build up play. The ball came over the top and it was well tucked away by Calabar's striker. His name eludes me right now. But Calabar, got a foothold in the game. They started to create chances. As I said, the number 7, outstanding player. He kept going, he kept working, but he he started to get overzealous at a point, started to try to do too much, started to try and beat just one too many Catherine defenders. And as such, he was thwarted a lot of times. He started making good plays and just eventually did a bit too much and didn't result in anything much more for Calabar. Calabar did miss a few opportunities. They did force a couple of easy saves out of Marion Brown, but it was nothing that the Catherine defense couldn't deal with. That then halftime came, it was 2-1, and Catherine came back out after the half, and they kind of accelerated. They went out and KD Young, he just absolutely took up the second half in his hands. He just, or on his feet, as they'd say, it's football. He just continued running at this Calabar team. He just continued making pass after pass, switching the play, dropping off deep or picking up the ball, sitting behind the forwards, getting it playing 1-2 with Gentles. We saw Gentles drop off deep sometimes to pick up the ball, whenever it seemed as though Calabar were having a bit too much of the midfield. And eventually, KD Young himself would make a run, dart through the middle of the field and just play a picture perfect through pass to Tevin Gray, who tucked it away comfortably. Tevin Gray missed a fair share of his chances in the first half, so it was good that he could come out in the second half and get back a goal to kind of redeem himself. He was a menace on the left wing for Calabar. He was a menace on the left wing. He did play on the right wing a ton in the second half as well. As wingers these days do, they alternate and they change wings. But he was a menace, just not being able to convert on many goals in the first half, but coming out in the second half, getting a goal. KD Young picked up, in my opinion, a silly yellow card, dribbling through the whole field and taking just one dribble too many, and realizing that he was going to lose control. He took a dive, but there wasn't any pool there. So the referee rightfully so booked him and gave him a yellow card. But ultimately, the match ended 3-1. As I said, I enjoyed the game. I started to get into it, like as a spectator. Towards the end of the game, started to get consumed by the game, forgetting that I was even there to work. So it was a captivating game, seeing Ranking and seeing Young, seeing Gentle's ability. Roger Taylor was a defender there. He had a good game. I got consumed by the game. So it was a good game. I really enjoyed it. But as I said, in terms of coaching, in terms of tactics, we definitely saw where St. Catherine did exactly what they wanted to do. They came out with a fiery start. They spread the field. They utilized every single square inch of the width of Calabar's home field on that day, and they used it to their advantage. They used their pace and they used their skillful midfielders and the clinical striker to get the better. Calabar, I don't think Calabar got a chance to get a foothold into the game. I don't think they got their way to get comfortable, at least not for most of the game. And this was simply because of Catherine just being more aggressive, being more assertive, getting to all the first and second balls, and just not allowing Calabar at any point to ever get comfortable. So obviously, my I would say my pointers that I take from this game is that, first of all, Catherine are and should be one of the favorites to win this competition. They are a good side. They're filled with a lot of good players, a lot of impressive players, and we all know the caliber of coaching that Anthony Patrick brings to schoolboy football. So I think Catherine will really believe that they'll have what it takes this year to not just be a second round team or a team that contends to get to the quarterfinals, but I think Catherine will be making a very big push, managing to qualify themselves for the second round. Calabar, a formidable season. As I said, they have some good players. It was a joy to watch. But unfortunately, this this season isn't going to be theirs. Andrew Price said he wanted 3 years. Maybe he might need four. But all in all, good game. Anthony Patrick won the battle of the coaches. Catherine won the battle on the field. They were just better. They were just more comprehensive, more prepared, and they wanted it more on the day. And the result aptly represented the player of the game. But yeah, people, that was a brief analysis of the Catherine versus Calabar game, match day number 2. It's a schoolboy football round of 16, round 2, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, people, if you enjoyed that analysis, tell me in the comments. Like the video, share the video, subscribe, and share it again. So, like, even if I tell you to share it while ago, then you share it again to at least 10 people, but ensure to get us 6 subscribers. Because if each and every one of you guys can manage to do that, you know how many subscribers that gets by the end of the day, people. Me and Rush will back in our studio again soon, people. Keep an eye out for new content coming very soon. Stay tuned for more schoolboy football content. Thank you so much for watching, people. This was This or That Sports TV. Gone.